Hello, all. This is Kozi. I want to thank you so much for joining me. So, I wanted to take this time to explain a little bit about what I do. So, what really sums it up, this is my case study about what I'm capable of and what I can do to the businesses that I partner up with. So, I am a small, medium business growth partner. And what I do, I actually help the local businesses in the market to unlock their hidden profits, to discover profit centers that they might be overlooking. And I do that in one or two ways, right? It could either come from consulting for equity, or it can come through deal making, whether that be with M&A, joint ventures, so on and so forth. So like I said before, there's a major challenge right now. So most local service businesses, they're just kind of running the wheels. They are so busy with the day-to-day operations that there's just no time to worry about scaling. They're worried. These are the guys and the girls that go out and they're hunting every day. They're hunting to put food on the tables for their family, um, for their employees if they have some, and they just simply are putting it to the back end as far as the importance of it. It's low on their list of importance and priority. So with that, if I'm going and I'm grinding, I'm hustling every day. I'm not worrying about systems. I'm not worried about those type of things. And it's not the fault of the person that is, in these service businesses. It's they just they might know, but they just might not know how to make that first step. So that's where I come in. I determine what their profit centers are. Okay, so what they may have be lacking, what they might be lacking. What are some things that might become a cost, and how do we flip that cost into it being a possible profit center? Okay, so that's where I come in. So they do lack the systems for consistent lead generation, pricing optimization, and follow-up automation, which means that there's money left on the table. Consistency, when there's no system, there's no consistency. Period. Let alone with the lead generation. We want to create a environment which creates repeat customers. Okay, pricing optimizations, different factors. Pricing might need to be raised, and they don't know how they can justify that. For example, dealing with the carpenter or something like that, and the price of lumber has increased. This person may not be able to not only price the correct way, but they might find a challenge of justifying it and communicating that to the customer. And what are some other ways that we can locate places where we can create value for the customer so that they can justify spending a little bit more on a particular service? And also the follow up. Okay, so that's all of these things are money left on the table. These are things that are in the blind spot, unfortunately, with a lot of our service business owners. And this is where I come into play. I've worked with pest control companies, and I've helped them create different frameworks and different, you know, mindset shifts that help them recover what's left on the table. Okay. So my strategy is simple. This is just a few of the strategies that I provide for my partners. So it's simple, it's high impact, frameworks that you can deliver to start delivering today. Okay. So the reason for these is not just to, you know, put lipstick on a pig or anything like that. These are things that are going to create a that are going to move the needle and create a measurable growth without burning the extra time or the cash. Okay. So first would be the revenue boost framework. Okay. So what we're going to do, we're going to go through everything, your SOPs, what you are using for your revenue channels. And we're going to identify 3 to 5 underused revenue channels. And this is the fun part within 7 days. Okay. So we can find out different ways that you can create more revenue within your business. Because most times, what most service people do, they only have one type of revenue, right? So they kind of so they suffer from that golden handcuff. That's something that these people may have tried to avoid by working with someone else, yet they go to their business and they might be very successful, but these things kind of prevent them from scaling. Okay. They may lack trust, or they may not just know how to do it. And like I said before, it's just something that's in their blind spot. They may not know where to go with that. So that's why I'm going to work with you to identify those 3 to 5 underused revenue channels so we can start making more revenue. And thus, you can start having a repeatable framework. You can start hiring people. You can start relieving your your stress level of when is the next time we're going to get the next job. Okay. 2, we have a client re-engagement system. We have to find different ways of getting back in front of our customers, the customers that we've lost, the dormant. There's a lot of money on the table when it comes to waking up dormant customers. We don't want to abandon our customers. We want to make sure that have them, we have their best interest, and that we simply want to help them. So we do that by doing something very inexpensive, low cost, something as simple as a text message and email campaigns, whichever your client is most likely to be met. All right, so it's very powerful, simple, but yet very powerful. Okay, and third, we have the operational leverage plan. So we systemize repeatable work to free up 10 hours plus 10 plus hours per week. Okay. That's when we're going to come up with a operational leverage plan where we have systems that are in place that are repeatable. And not only that, but we're able to not think about how we do certain jobs. So the system frees up a lot of time where you can go back to your family and you can focus on what you really need to focus on, which is being not the operator, not so much the operator, because you're still going to be operating your business, but you're also going to be having an eagle eyes approach on your business. So that's why it's important to systemize the repeatable work so that we can free up that time, and thus it will result in you being less stressful, more looking at the direction of your business and steering your ship. Okay. And so the results of these strategies, so through every business is unique, okay, the following outcomes have been modeled using a proven framework from hundreds of small business turnarounds and growth campaigns. So this is something that is proven through different, so it all depends on what your industry is. At the end of the day, it all depends on the budget cycles, the seasonal, if you have a seasonal business, though they do kind of it does kind of depend, but not really because you can still see yourself getting possibly a 30% increase. You may be a little bit less, like 25, 15, something like that. It all depends on your market and things like that. But hey, I'll take a 15% over zero any day. I don't know about you, but so for example, like with the 30% increase in the monthly sales through the follow up automation, you have a 40% boost in lead conversions using improved customer scripts and a 20% plus margin growth. That is beautiful. Margin growth with pricing adjustments and partnership optimization. So basically, what that last one means is adjusting price and then finding different partners that may have a complementary service to yours. So now we really can't be scared to work with other companies in our space, um, because we'll be sharing a bulk of not only the workload, but we'll also be optimizing it to the point where we can get front of mind of each other's audience and each other's customer base. So we are exchanging different synergies in a way. Okay. So now keep in mind that these models results based on real world data and similar client outcomes in comparable industries. Okay. But this is really what you're going to be looking at with the service industry in today's age. Okay. So, like I said before, I work with business owners. I want to work with the blue collar people, the people that get up every day, the people that kind of help us run America. Um, so so unlike traditional consultants, I work with business owners, not just for them. Okay, so I did say before I would do consulting for equity, joint ventures, as well as revenue share models. And I want this to be a win-win for both sides. I don't believe in the zero-sum game at all. I think it's only worthwhile if you're working as a partner. And I'd love to work with you today. Okay, so feel free, give me a send it me an email. I'm at cozy at kdsacquisitions.com. Send me your contact, your name, your number. I'll already have your email, and so we could set you up with a quick 15-minute strategy chat. It's totally free, and then we can identify your bottlenecks and your profit opportunities. Thank you, and can't wait to hear from you.